It was a lot. They're very hateful. I didn't like it.
It's okay.
Today's cup is my emotional support beverage.
Yes, I love that. I love that.
What about when it happened in a good way? You ever had that happen in a good way?
What, pizza be wrong?
Nah, so the other day I go to this spot or whatever, and my man's he was like, yo, can we get the lemon pepper? He was like, I want half lemon pepper, half jalapeno honey. They like, we ain't got no lemon pepper. I was like, yo, Brody not here. So we had to leave and come back the next day. This one nigga that worked there, and he only do it for certain people. So I asked for half lemon pepper, half jalapeno hot, and when it came out, it was the lemon pepper dry mixed with jalapeno wet, and that shit slapped.
It was amazing. That sounds like a good.
It does sound good though.
That sounds amazing.
That does sound good as shit. Like that.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Hey guys, this is All Docked Up. I'm Chris. That's VJ. That's Penrose. And yeah,
and Beyonce
we are here. And because listen, it's
and Beyonce.
You know what I'm saying?
And Baby Yoda.
So guys. Baby Yoda.
But he's here.
Yeah, he's here. I love your cup, by the way. Did you put like some of that glitter in it?
Yep. This was fully glitter all the way around. Like it's just
nice. I love that. Guys, go to VJ's Etsy and buy shit. Okay.
Oh shit.
That's something.
So
I'll make you a sticker for this podcast to put on your computer and mail it to you. Buy something, I'll stick it in there.
Yo, we might need you for like some merch for us.
Hey, are we live?
Cricket extraordinaire.
I can say we live. Never mind.
Okay, we'll say it after then. Just don't forget, because we be forgetting to tell each other shit.
Do you know that the battery in a bullet, if you let it go too long, that shit eventually just pops the fuck out?
Nigga, I thought this was you was trying to say something about merchandise.
This has been All Docked Up.
You're talking about sex toys?
That's Chris. That's Penrose. I'm VJ.
Bye, guys.
Cut that shit.
I'm leaving.
My bad.
Did it just like shoot across the room? Okay, anyway. So.
Hey, I swear.
Oh my God.
I'm sitting there chilling. The other day, I'm chilling, relaxing, and all of a sudden I hear pop, bing, bong. I was like, what the fuck is that?
And they just.
So look, you know, we from the Midwest. Sometimes you hear shit, you look, you don't see shit. Ain't nobody dead.
Ain't nothing happened, right? Nothing happened.
I got up and some just caught my eye. I'm like, what the fuck is the top of this thing? And then it hit me like, I don't
that
think
was the bing bong bing noise.
And I look, yeah, bro, the battery didn't blew up, shot the top. I said, damn.
Okay.
Anyway,
I listened to Chris's last episode of Shenanigans with Friends, and so now I'm hearing this man talk about this, and in my mind, I'm thinking hot shot. And so,
yeah. Oh shit! Why did I say that? It was a very vulgar episode, like between like saying hot shot more than once, and then I also it was describing a lamp, and I said like salt and pepper shaker.
The salt and pepper shakers.
Do the fucking pepper grinder. Like it was very vulgar, guys.
And then my
okay.
And then the HR assistant walked into my office to ask me a question right as you were talking about that, and I was like, stabbing the
hot shots.
And she was like, "Oh no, it's okay. I can hear it through the wall most day." And I was like, "Shit."
What up, man?
Oh my God,
she's very chill. God bless her, because
she's great.
So this how I know I ain't seen you all in a minute, because like, nigga, I'm active right now. I gotta eat something so I can do what you do.
You're good. Okay, guys. So this.
I guess we should probably do our show. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. Okay, so this week
we're getting there.
We are covering. Yes.
You know how people be like fucking kids.
Mm-hmm.
These. Hey, I don't know, man. We said the niggas ain't seen each other in a minute, but you're right. We need to get to it because I was on Baylor shit the other night. I was like, "Oh, doctor, well, we talk about podcasts." Like, no, we don't.
we do talk about podcasts sometimes. We just talked about podcasts. So there we go. We watched it, but we did not watch a podcast. We watched a documentary.
No, we did. This is the first documentary that I think we've pulled that isn't on a premium subscription. So just a heads up there. Anywhere that you can watch it, it's gonna have commercials, but they're not too bad. I watched it on Freevee, which used to be Independent Movie Database.
Yeah.
So that I think it's on Tubi. Shout out to Autumn, on your favorite channel.
Tubi go hard.
And then,
shout out to my auntie. She fucking accidentally put on Tubi one day and has been watching like every bad black movie to her heart's content. Every time I call, she's watching something new and she is enthralled. So
BET plus who, sis? Like, listen, Tubi is where all the ghetto-ness happens, if that's what y'all looking.
You ever notice that Baby Boy is the one movie that show ghetto, but it has so many ties to lessons, even to this day?
Did you ever realize that, like, why was everybody being so fucking hard on that nigga? And this nigga was like 18 or 19 years old. Did anybody ever think about that? Like, I feel like we thought that he was an adult, and he wasn't a fucking adult.
20s.
No, guys, he was a hella like teenager. Like he was literally a baby boy, and these niggas was really like on his ass. Like he wasn't a fucking juvenile still, Lucky.
And that's crazy. I did not know that. I thought he was like 25, and that's why he was being weird and like
he's like 19 or maybe 20. He's like 19, maybe 20. So he literally didn't have any
alcohol, and his mama was trying to kick him out and be weird and
But see, now that you bring that up, it actually makes me look at the movie in a different way. Now, like you have
no choice. You have no choice to.
Yeah, because now it's like, damn. Remember we had a conversation off air about how a lot of races, their kids stay home for a while, but a lot of black families treat their kids like a bill. So 18, you gotta get the fuck out because the energy she was giving him, I for real thought this thing was like 25.
She literally was like, "You 18, you gotta get the fuck out of my house. I gotta have a life too." Like she literally was like that. So like when you look at it, knowing that he was not the age that we thought that he was, that shit is very trash.
This is
very ridiculous.
Surprise! That's what the documentary is about today.
It is.
We're gonna get to it. Hey, look. So that's the type. Hey, look. That's the type of Easter egg that's equivalent to. You ever notice this? A nigga in the bed with Paula J in Friday when she cussing out.
Yes.
That's that type of Easter egg. Like
when she grilling him about who the fuck he was at the movies with. Yes, hella nigga in like her bed. Okay. Anyway, The Imposter. Like I said, Tubi, Freevee, all of the free places. With commercials. This
with commercials
happens in San Antonio, Texas.
When I first saw it, it didn't have commercials. Sorry, guys.
No, same. When I saw it, it didn't have commercials either, and I was like, "Damn!" I thought it was on Netflix or something. It was like somewhere.
It was.
It was on Prime Video or some shit. Like it was somewhere.
They took it
something like that. And we do really try hard to kind of keep stuff like on places where like we don't have to like endure commercials because like we're all impatient nowadays. Like we act like we didn't have to watch those, sit through those anyway. But okay, so the story is about a missing kid named Nick Barkley, right?
Yeah.
He was 13 years old, and I'm gonna say I want to just throw 13 out here now, guys, so that we just keep in mind that this nigga was 13 years old when he left. Okay, think about who you were at 13. Think about how you were already. Now, of course, you weren't the person that you are today, right? But you already kind of had a cadence to your voice. You already had like you know what I'm saying? Like there were already distinguishable traits about you that people would be able to be like, yay, that's VJ, like 5 years later. Oh, what's up? That's Penrose. I haven't seen you in 6 years. Like,
but you would it would be kind of that was the person.
But you would still know it's me. Like if I show you a picture of me when I was like 2, like, you'll still fucking see that it was me. Like
exactly right.
You know what I'm saying? Like fucking 13-year-old Christian literally just looked like this. Like literally just like this. Like that's it.
I look
But that's okay. I just want to kind of throw that out there because this is thrown into question a lot here, and to me, it seemed very unnecessary.
It gets wild very quickly.
Really, truly.
So yeah, 1994, Nicholas goes missing in San Antonio, and we sit with his immediate family. Mom Beverly, his sister Carrie. Her name is spelled like Jim Carrey's last name, which I found to be fascinating spelling for Carrie, but whatever.
Really,
I know truly, like Carrie, and she spelled her name exactly that way. First
Wait,
name
both
Carey,
of
last
them?
name Carey.
Same spelling?
Same spelling how Jim Carrey's last name is, but her first and last name is her name is Carey Carey.
See,
Weirdest shit.
I'm gonna shake it up. I'm going like Keri first name and then Carey last name.
Right.
Like,
You know,
I
I'm
don't care
shaking
if
it
my
up.
parents did spell it that way. Like, at
I'm
that
changing
point,
it.
I'm just spelling it how I want to. And people
I'm the
gonna be
guardian
like,
of
yeah,
my
she
destiny.
Carey, because she, you know,
Right.
she, yeah,
Yeah.
she changed it.
Yeah.
I do go by my
But
middle name
yeah,
at least.
it was
That's
a very
crazy.
interesting spelling. And then Brian, who I'm assuming is Carrie's husband.
It's what I got from it.
Right.
Yeah.
It just says brother-in-law, but we don't see any other siblings really. So
Because I think
well, we know another one, but
Carrie is his only sister. So unless the other one, which we'll get to him, unless we know something,
he didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
So 3 years and 4 months later, approximately.
Mm-hmm.
We are in Leonardo, Spain.
You know, the fucking next door neighbor to fucking Texas.
Yeah,
super easy to get kids mixed up.
Leonardo, Spain in 1997 in October. We get a snippet from a police call. It is very so when you guys watch this, you might want to turn the subtitles on because the snippets they have of phone calls, the audio is horrific. Like you cannot tell what they are saying.
Horrible.
Truly.
So
plus let's also never mind. We'll talk about also why you may not have been able to hear it perfectly clear as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So 2 tourists call and say that they had found a child on the streets at night in the rain with no ID. He won't tell them who he is. They offered him food.
He won't accept food.
He's just sitting there. He seems very in distress. Perhaps the police should come pick him up. So the police do. Go pick him up.
Yeah, because I'm just gonna pick you up, but we have no idea who this kid is. And when they pull up, he's acting like a kid, right? He he was described as he's describing his outfit, it was given Subway Surfer, like how he was describing
Wait, go ahead. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up.
He was just bigger clothes, hat pulled all the way down. That's what it was giving me, that fucking game. But he's dressed like that, and to appear to be a child. He doesn't speak, and yeah, he doesn't speak. So it's hard to explain this documentary because we see this entire time and are aware of the person that is supposedly Nick.
Right.
And this is the part where we're talking to him as himself, whoever that is, and how all he wanted to do was go to a children's home. But
he didn't.
That's not weird.
He said he didn't feel loved or didn't have love in his life, and so he knew that if he got picked up and they couldn't, so he's sitting there and they're asking him his name and where he's from. And the police are asking him in multiple languages because he's in Europe. Everything's close. You get on a train, go to the next country, whatever. I don't think you do that now, but you used to just kind of
hop. Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're asking him in pretty much any language that they think he may answer to, who are you? What's your name? Whatever. He doesn't say a word. So because he knows, and he's saying this, I know that if they can't identify who I belong to or find somebody to release me to, they're going to put me in a children's home.
Right. Which apparently was the end goal, even though he was super aged out of being able to do that. But he thought this would be all. He said it was all that he wanted.
But did we ever, now maybe I missed this. Did we ever find out outside of maybe being a mental thing? Did we ever find out why? I think if you really think about it, we just meet this kid just how you said we met this kid, and it's not a kid, and
they would have just arrested his old that they don't give a fuck about niggas that's over 18.
Basically, he ain't got no job, no money, he homeless, and he was like, how I'm gonna get out the rain? I don't want to sleep in his phone booth, and he knows
come up.
So
I can do this.
You know what? I guess
because we find out later how he knows all of these things, but
right.
Yeah,
guess
so
exactly.
he's at the children's home having a motherfucking blast, right? A field day. He braiding
Right.
bitches' hair. They reading books and coloring and
He
shit.
leading the ghost stories.
Yeah, he leading the ghost stories. For whom it may concern, this meeting of the Midnight Society. He threw threw shit on the fire. For those of you who are old enough, just
He
know
writing in cursive for the other niggas that
you
can't
don't
write
know
in
what that
cursive.
is. You can't date. Just telling you now. But yeah, he throwing the fire out there. They writing in cursive. They having a good ass time. They dancing to they doing all the Britney Spears "Oops, I Did It Again" moves. They was
Yes.
They was having a blast. And so eventually they're like, so he is, which I'm kind of gonna jump around to make this more cohesive, but basically
Sure.
he's sitting with us telling us like, I would get sent to the motherfucking children's home where they was like, nah, we got to ID you, so what's up?
Yeah,
like they were like, he was like, any other place, nobody asked too many questions. Here they want to figure out who the fuck I am so I can get off the state's dime. They are not having this I don't know who I am shit.
Right.
So then I kind of just want to jump back because I want to talk about Nick being missing, right? One thing that I thought that was key, right, is that how his mother clearly openly said, like, this nigga might have jumped in a car with somebody. Like, already, if I can easily say that about my kid, I feel like I've already failed as protecting them as a parent.
What did we talk about before?
You just jump into a car.
What did we talk about before?
This nigga is 13 years old. That's Kaylin. You trying to tell me that Kaylin just gonna jump into any if Kaylin jumps into any fucking body's car tomorrow, I have failed as a parent.
So they
that
say
he don't know that he shouldn't fucking just jump in cars.
So back with Nicholas, Beverly says the day he went missing, he goes to play basketball. She gives him $5, turns him out to go play basketball, whatever. And her other son, Jason, is living with them. And he calls and asks for a ride. Well, Beverly works nights and is asleep during the day while he is out trying to play basketball or whatever. He calls, asks for a ride home. Jason does not wake Beverly up. He tells his 13-year-old brother that he just needs to walk home.
And this is where shit gets stupid. I mean, well, I ain't gonna say that's where shit gets stupid, but
he apparently got into a stranger's car.
And never to be seen again.
If we are to believe Beverly.
Right. If we're to believe what Beverly said.
But who says that they could believe that that's what happened? No, she didn't say she can believe somebody abducted him. Y'all believe, he just got in somebody's car. Like, that's what you can say about your kid.
She was like, yeah, I could see this nigga just hopping in the car. Like,
right. It's like
why?
if somebody called and be like, yo, your kid did X, Y, and Z, you know those times because I hate when somebody be like, not my child, and that's all they say. But everybody know that one time where it's like, nah, not my kid. And then it's that other time where you like,
that sounds right. I mean, you don't have to be the parent of the year to at least have some grasp or kind of your child's personality to know, like, if some shit sounds super off base, or if you like not under normal circumstances, but
I can see.
Imagine now, VJ, without you having no children. This is why that part fucked me up so much. Without you having no children, well, can you honestly say that if one of us was like, yeah, the kid's gone, one of our kids is gone, yeah, they probably got in the car, can you honestly still be our friend after
your god kid? Could you just be like, could you just see
here's the thing. Jamal is 9. Happy belated birthday, child, because it was last week.
Happy belated birthday, Jamal.
He just turned 9, but Jamal is a Leo and he is a lunatic, and he has been a lunatic since he came out of the womb. He has never, and I mean that in the nicest way possible, but he's just it's just no holds barred with him. And so I think I've told this story before where Jamal is he doesn't have a filter. And so him and his mom, his dad, and his brother and sister, they moved into a house like a year and a half ago. And some of his dad's family was in town, but that was their first time coming to the house, and they were sitting on the porch drinking. So one of the guys just kind of went to the side of the house to pee instead of going in the house. Jamal saw him and stuck his head out of the window and was like, "Hey, why are you pissing on the side of our new house?"
Well, listen, is that a lunatic or is that a valid ass question?
It's a valid question, but the thing
you don't even live here, like.
But I say all that to say, Jamal is not the type that would go like it's no, like that. If you could tell me a lot of shit transpired. If you told me he punched somebody at school, probably. If you he had a good reason in his mind, but he did it. If you told me he stole some gum or something, I'd be like, maybe. But if you tell me that Jamal was like, yeah, I'm going to get in this random stranger's car, I'd be like, you are telling a bold-faced ass lie. Because he'd have been like, bitch, who are you? I know him. He'd have cussed. He'd have said the whole shebang and been like, nigga, I can't get in your car. My mom said. Aunt Jameek said, don't get in the car with nigger strangers. And he'd have said it like that. And it was like... they would have had to grab him, but it would have never been yeah, he'd have got in.
I can see that.
No, so long story short, now I can't be friends with nobody where their kids just get into random cars. Now I will say in Beverly's possibly drugged out defense, possibly
come on,
drugged
girl.
out, I know for sure.
Come on.
It was 1990.
But bitch, 1994 was not 1976. Like
exactly, like
but we were living some
we were risking
our
lives
in 1994.
We did. We
were risking our IP addresses back in 94.
In 94, kids were still roaming the street like
facts.
Right.
Now, I mean,
and so granted, we would have not, as black people, would not have gotten in the car with whatever. I don't know what San Antonio looked like at that point. He might have been doing that regularly, like getting rides home from people, and just came across a motherfucker that happened to be like a pedo bear. Like I don't
that was
know.
like you're not going home.
I feel
like, I'm not excusing the parenting because the answer should always be don't get in the car with some people you don't know, but he's a 13-year-old who has very poor parental supervision, who is probably not the first time he has hitchhiked a ride home from wherever. Like, let's be real about this. That's not the first time.
That's valid. It couldn't have been valid. Because his mom would have been so lax to say that he just get in the cars.
She said it too casually. Yeah, he would get in the car with somebody because he showed up at their motherfucking house with some stranger that brought him home. That is not the first time that shit happened. That's why she was like, yeah, he would. Because he's done.
She can see it.
She can see it because she saw it. He did it.
So, okay. So, going back to Fake Nick, right? So now Fake Nick is in this orphanage or wherever the fuck. And he's like, okay, I got to figure out my next step because like BJ said, these niggas is like, yo, you really on a dime. Like, if we don't figure out who the fuck you belong to, you don't know what to do. So, he starts calling all different types of police stations in the United States.
But I want to point out that good as they felt, they leave him alone because they've taken him to like the offices to try to figure out. Like he's not in the home. They've removed him, taken him to the office. They trying to pin down where they taking him. He convinces these people to leave him alone in this office building overnight. No need to take me back to the home.
Just let me stay here.
I'm gonna just chill here.
Y'all go to the crib. You said it was your anniversary, right? Y'all ain't it a boy?
He convinces them that he's gonna call his parents, but he wants to be alone. He doesn't want, anybody to tell him, he doesn't want anybody to be there. He's gonna call his parents. But I need to be alone. So lock me in the
point. Look, to your point earlier. Yeah, the white boy got in the car and he probably shouldn't, but it was 94. Like you said, we was living risk. The 90s, we know what the 90s was. Do it kind of right now, it would not make sense for a nigga to be in that situation and all this weird shit goes on and to be left alone because he asked for it. Back then, if you really think about it, was it weird that they left that nigga alone? Technically,
he cried and was like, please, I just need to do this by myself. Right. I don't want them to hear it from some random people. Lord knows what he told them,
and
because
the 90s,
this nigga is a grifter extraordinaire. So
niggas still had the honor code in the 90s. We believe you. Yeah.
Also, I want to point out that this man is 23. Like, by the way, like, he is 10 years older than the person.
Right.
Like,
I don't nobody see this.
This is what I'm saying. Remember when I was like, big emphasis on the fact that he's 13?
Right.
So now at the very most, he's 16 and a half.
Hey, VJ, before you came on, before Chris pressed live, I said, yo, this is the type of shit that made me believe the world is fake. Because it's like a video game. It's like, all right, you got it. we're gonna
You're
make
23 and you live in Spain. In order for you to get
America.
your passport, you gotta find a missing kid that you could kind of resemble and get smuggled into the U.S.
to go to dusty ass San Antonio to live out your days. Ready, go, boss level, boom, like that.
That's because I'm like, what the fuck is the? Come on, man. When the nigga is calling. So he say he stayed overnight. He wake up. I mean, while he's calling
the police station. Back to what Chris said. I just wanted to interject.
New York,
they left him alone.
New York. It's this kid that is definitely American. Y'all should come check it out. Hey, Chicago. It's this kid here, and he just does this. Like, he's just calling all these like big U.S. cities and just getting all these police stations just this information. Then
he's telling them he's a cop, though. Remember, he's
telling them that's what I'm saying. Yes, he's not saying, "Hey, I'm Nicholas like Barkley." He's saying, "Hey, I'm Detective such and such. I'm fucking caseworker, blah blah blah. I'm fucking whoever the fuck, so y'all can talk to me."
The kid won't tell him his name. The kid not talking, right? Or some shit.
But yeah, the kid, I'm with him right now. Like, the kid is right next to me, but he just like really don't feel like talking to right now. So like I'm calling on his behalf. Okay, so look. Then they was like, okay, boom, like this is a cool story, but like here go the number to fucking missing children and shit. So then he calls them and they're like, oh shit, that's crazy, Detective such and such. Let me send you a picture of this nigga. So they fucking fax over this like bullshit, like milk carton, like terrible picture of this nigga. So he gets the picture. He's like, boom, of course I look like this. This is obviously the kid next to me because it was such a vague picture that he was like, it's cool. I can probably get away with this.
And keep in mind that he's calling he calls the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And he just kind of gives them the most generic.
He's like, I mean,
of a 14-ish old child, 15, 16-year-old child.
He's like, I mean, like he's got like baggy pants on, like these are the like he's like not giving like specific descriptions. He's just like
what he does is tells them he went missing from America about 3. He picks basically a time, like 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Like he just kind of decides on 3 years and says, "Oh, you were missing 3 years ago." So then the lady is able to kind of put a time frame to this with these generic ass baggy pants. He had on a t-shirt and a ball cap as description.
He had hair on his head. Yes. And so she's like, "Oh shit, could it be Nicholas Barkley?" And he's like, "I don't know. What does Nicholas look like?"
Can you send me a picture? What? Can I talk to this little nigga? I think about it. Now, mind you, has anybody worked in a call center before?
Yes.
Think about what I did it for credit cards and telephones. What'd you do it for?
Tech service for TV and customer service for fucking Pottery Barn.
And I promise you, this is gonna make a point. You said customer service for Pottery Barn?
Yeah.
Have you done it? All right. You mean to tell me? I know it's 94, but a woman working in the call center for the center of missing children. Nigga, you remember those times you got pulled in that office? Hey, Chris, let's listen to this phone call.
What did you do wrong here?
the quality assurance recording. Oh my god!
Listen, what do you think? What do you think we could have?
You talking about this nigga right here who can talk to anybody? I got put on the suspension roll because 5 calls in a row you didn't feel I did what I was supposed to do. I gotta stick to that script. But a bitch that's working in the missing children center, that bitch, you ain't got no protocol.
She didn't do her due diligence. And
she was like, do he look like a Nicholas or he look like a Brandon? Like, I got both.
Right. I mean, I get wanting to help them and you faxing or whatever, but I just would be like, I just
talk to him
of something. Like, you need to send a picture of him or this needs to wait till the morning when
Yes.
something's open to help. Like
I'm the one with the database, nigga. You fax me a picture. I'll tell you who I think it is. Like,
now think
like,
about that. That time.
weird. Also, I just want to point out that's what that nigga. This is what this nigga was walking around.
Like.
This is what the nigga who was pretending to be Nicholas. This is how he was dressed, and this is how he
That's literally what he looked like. Because he like look how that nigga looked.
He had that big ass coat and that backpack and that hat the whole time.
That's how he was like, yeah, it's a kid missing. That's what the kid looked like.
Like a street urchin. I was like, what the fuck is this?
He got that motherfucking picture of Nicholas the same way. Like, you ever walked in like an old person, Chris, like somebody you know, even if your grandma friend, something, you'd be like, last time I came over here, she had a new bread maker. Like, yo, Darlene, what's up with this new bread maker? And you find out like QVC is getting her every night. That's how easy he got. It was like, how you just say, oh yeah, this him. Bitch, I mean, you ain't got.
She didn't. She never said, "Oh, this is him." She said, "Here go a picture."
No, I'm talking about when he got the picture. He's just like, "Oh yeah, this him, my nigga." The nigga stop. You the only person he want to talk to. You the only person that know. I sent you a picture of Nicholas Meyer. You know it's him because you know he from America. You know all these little small details. He don't want to talk to nobody no more now.
Right. Now that I work at the missing kids place, like I'm about to find your parents, nigga. You don't want to talk to me, like
right?
Cool, like
you caught America from Spain. You caught America from Spain in the middle of this motherfucking night. This bitch, I don't get nobody else.
What time is it?
Yeah, it was very weird. Like, I just was like, I don't understand. Like, it was just a series. Like, it was just very much a series of like unfortunate events. Like, people were just not doing any type of due diligence here. It was wild, but it's also one of those things where, as much as we hate to be like, people in other countries fucking hate us, right? Like, they fucking hate us when it comes to tourism. They think we're all a bunch of arrogant assholes. But when it comes to like children and trafficking and that type of shit, you get to yelling about fucking blonde-haired white babies, white children being trafficked through Europe. Motherfuckers get to jumping. Like, well, where is he? Like, so it really was just kind of like a series of shit that just snowballed because I was like,
true shit.
Yeah.
Every time.
Like, if it had been little Quanta from fucking Nairobi or some shit,
right?
Like,
they'd have been like,
girl, I don't know. We'll get you back when we can. Go sit down. Like,
until then, like, learn this language.
Very true. So dark skin baby with this Irish accent. What?
Oh my god! So they call
bitch dancing the jig and make this bitch dancing the jig and make the meanest cabbage. Oh, Irish duck. Ooh.
This Irish jig and the tightest French braid, my nigga. The tightest French braid.
The beans and mash is on point, so I ain't mad, but damn.
This bitch make the best chitlins and fucking corned beef and cabbage. Like, what is happening?
Come on. She drunk by 12 the day before St. Patrick's Day.
They call
got that Irish
accent.
Got that Irish accent and it took all her
they call Bev at work.
One long braid. Oh,
Bev wasn't at work. They called Bev at work. Bev wasn't at the Stop and Shop or whatever the fuck.
So they just wrote her a damn post-it note that said,
and keep in mind, this is wild. It's a wild documentary. This lady's son has been missing for damn near 4 fucking years. Not a peep heard from this child. And the people call from Spain and are like, we have Nicholas. They didn't call her At home, it said, "Bev, girl, you need to call these people back immediately." They wrote that shit on a post-it note and left it for Bev to see at her next fucking
And
shit.
was like, niggas in Spain said they got Nicholas.
Literally,
That was
Spain called, they have Nicholas. Not a person. The fucking country of Spain called you, Bev, and said they have Nicholas.
They had your motherfucking son.
The whole country got your son, girl. Hurry up. Spain took your son. What the fuck?
Hey, now peep though. Peep.
They said you can call him after 8.
Hey, look. It's 1994. Ain't no telling what Bev work.
Call after 9, girl.
Look, motherfucker. Go, now imagine a place that you don't really know. You know that place where you don't really know your coworkers, or you know somebody that work at a place. They don't know that person coming up that next shift. Oh, I don't got Bev number.
Right.
The government is
supposed to know. And hope this shit don't blow away over.
Hey, right. It's 8 o'clock.
That's
8
wild, though.
HR gone.
It is wild.
That's
like I would have maybe called my manager and been like, "Yo, I think Bev need this note right now."
Admittedly, I don't know all my coworkers. I don't know everybody that works in the shop or wherever. But if somebody come in the office talking about your child and your ex-wife, parentally kidnapped your daughter 5 years ago. They've apprehended her and they have your daughter. I mean, make a trip to HR to be like, "Hey, girl,
that's what I'm saying.
Do you know Brian?
It's 1994.
I don't know which one he is, but can you help me find him? Because he's got his daughter." Like,
what if Bev? Hey, what if Bev wasn't good to everybody? What if Slim
was like, come on, somebody just fucking Kobe
been missing for 3 years.
Put that shit away. Man, hey, look, fuck Bev. She was supposed to
right
just so I could go to a concert this weekend. Nope.
Fuck that bitch and fuck Nicholas.
If the nigga, hey, look,
whoever the fuck that is.
If the nigga been missing for 3 years, these extra 12 hours ain't about to hurt nobody. I see.
He'll still be in Spain. Spain will still have him. Okay.
If they ain't killed this nigga in 3 years, baby, trust me, these 12 hours. Hey,
no worry, girl.
If they kill him, that's on me. If they kill him, that's on me.
Oh my bad.
You can have my next 3 shifts.
All right.
You can have my next 3 shifts, Bev. I mean.
Oh God. So of course when Bev finally get the message 12 hours later, she's like, they call.
We laugh at your pain.
they fucking called the shelter. This nigga Nick on the phone, like he just been able to answer the phone freely and shit. Like,
which I thought was crazy. Like he purports himself to be a caseworker, social worker, Jonathan Doran, something like that. But he's purporting himself to be the caseworker. Oh, I got Nicholas right here. He's been tortured and abused, so he doesn't want to talk to anybody. But this is definitely Nicholas.
She went from a police officer to a caseworker in like 6 hours.
Harry on the phone, and she was like, "No, fuck that. That's my motherfucking brother. He gonna talk to me. He knows what it is." So she get on the phone, and he holding the phone, and he like,
he sound like me, Jay, and Autumn on fucking Quiet Time. Like
exactly. He just whispering, and then she steady talking. "You hear me, bud? I love you so much. We're gonna bring you home. We missed you so much. We're so glad you're okay."
So wait, the part that was hilarious here is when they're talking to fake Nick and he's like describing this situation. He goes, "I washed her brain." Nigga, I died so hard. Like,
he did say that with a straight face in that fucking
I watched her
performance moisture wicking ass zip up top. He sat there and said, "I watched."
Girl, it really was an active shirt. Like, where you going? Where you going?
To commit more fraud. The fraud is
gotta go. Oh my God.
But actually, you know how
basically
for the grifter on the go.
You ever seen you ever seen when a nigga be on like a fucking middle school or like travel league baseball squad, and it be all Dominican kids, and then that one nigga show up and be like, "That nigga ain't 17." Like, you know what I mean? And we've all heard we've all heard of the lies how like sometimes they do that to the Dominican kids so they can make it to the league, nigga, a little bit older, fucking whatever. It's the cool. My whole point of saying all of that is if we will wholeheartedly check, and sometimes those kids do be 17. It's just big as fuck. But the niggas that have got caught, if we got enough time to make sure that we ain't letting niggas just get off with a couple million because they a year older than they supposed to be, we ain't checking a nigga that is that's the part that gets me. This nigga is clearly grown. It's nothing about this man that says teenager.
Well, that's why he had all the scarves and shit on. Like,
yeah, this is where it gets real motherfucking interesting because now
R. Kelly put on a mask. He was still 45.
Carrie getting on the next thing smoking to come get him. Now, Bev done told Carrie, get on the plane, girl, he in Linares. And she said, so by Paris, by Couldn't Shoot, Texas, or
like how close, like where is that in Texas?
How close to Tyler? How close?
Do you know that was my favorite part? That was my favorite part because if you don't,
because she's like, how the fuck is this nigga in Spain?
But no, think about it. If you don't know too much shit, the South, especially Texas, it wouldn't be weird that isn't there a Paris, Texas? Some weird ass shit.
Texas, Tyler, Texas. Right. But when I used to live, when we would go on our way to Houston, we'd pass through a little place called Cut and Shoot.
See what I'm saying? Right. So it's in her
head. Cut and Shoot, Texas. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
In her head, she could have heard
like there. You would drive through places, and the population is 100, 5, 20. Yeah. Like they just are
5, bitch.
There's a place called, I think it's called Cooney or something like that. Like the city hall and the police department, they have one police vehicle. It's not paved. It's literally like a 10 portable, like, you know, you can buy those sheds to put in your backyard. It's like 2 of those put together with a roof, and it's like nothing's paved. It's just trees, and it's like on the side of the road.
But it's in town. So it wasn't crazy.
Like it wouldn't have registered to her. Like it wouldn't. Like I'm telling you, in nobody's mind.
Like that's one household, Sam. Like that's 5 niggas in one house.
In Alabama, where my grandma used to live, we went down there. Nigga, there's the post office and the electric company are all in the same building. You ask directions by the second stoplight, not the first one. It's 2 of them motherfuckers.
I grew up in a speed trap with 3 stoplights, and the city hall and the jail were in one combined building, and they had a drive-through with a drop box where you paid your water bill.
Yeah. Absolutely. That type of no, I seen
because they like the water, like the water company is here, but it's not enough room for you to come inside. Like we doing other shit here.
It's a lady in the window, like a bank teller, and you don't go in. You just talk to her through the window.
They operate weird. It be some small ass weird ass like. So yeah, it wouldn't be crazy for her to hear Paris and be like, yeah, bitch, how far we got? I gotta
Texas, go, like, yeah, okay, with Linares, okay, sure, where are we going? Like,
yeah,
right. You just assume it's on the opposite side of the state.
Oh no, bro, you're gonna need a passport. Like,
yeah,
and this is your 13-year-old American brother. Now, somebody told you that nigga was in Mexico. If somebody said Mexico, you might have been like, all right, whatever. You would have heard of Mexican City. You could have understood it. But you're also not going to think Paris because he went missing. We wasn't on no vacation. This nigga went missing in town. How is
down the street? Like,
how the fuck?
How niggas in this town end up in Spain? Like,
and the part about it that I think would be most like the part that I would be concerned about is because you're like, well, really, how did he get to Spain? Because you're leaving America to go to Europe. You need a passport.
You don't have no identification,
no ID. Nothing. Like, how did he even get on the well, I guess this is pre 9/11. You could just kind of
go. This is when niggas come line with their family to the gate and shit. So
I was like, I have to keep reminding myself that the airport security didn't used to be what it is.
Used to be like this. We don't even remember what it used to be like almost. That's crazy.
Even post 9/11, my ex of mine, she somehow left her fucking ID at the crib, and they was already at the airport, her whole family. They had to leave her, and she sat at the airport for like 24 hours and like fucking with security or something. But somehow they did enough background check and checked all of the shit she said, and she was allowed to take that trip with no ID. So I say that to say I can understand how, like y'all said, like back then, it wasn't shit for you to walk a nigga all the way to the gate. Nobody was really checking shit. You know what I mean? So kid at that time,
like it's possible, but it's just highly improbable. And then my thing is, they're in San Antonio. If you told me that he got trafficked to Mexico, I wouldn't blink an eye because I had walked across the border into Mexico, partied all night, almost got put in jail, had to give the fucking police my diamond earrings out of my ears and all the cash in my pockets, and then just walked right fucking back across the border and looked up at the Bank of America bank and was like, damn, like. Like I was like, if you'd have said he got trafficked into Mexico, I absolutely would have been like, yeah. I'd have just shrugged. I'd have been like, seems fair.
Yeah, because the federales will hold you for anything. We was running one night, and the nigga got caught in one of them bushes, and I like, you my mans, but fuck that nigga. I'm not in the military. Nah, hell no. I ain't fucking with them.
Like I just, if they'd have said
that's what you got to do. Exactly what she said. If you don't, if the nigga the federales want it all, they can't even fit them J's. They want them. Because if you don't get that nigga up,
I come up off my shoes.
Yo, whatever the
bullfrogs. Shit you not, drinking at a goddamn Bullfrogs, I could see the fucking border. Like I'm sitting in front of the Bullfrogs is here, the border is here. I could have reached my hand across the street into America. My cousin got into an argument with the bouncers and they started talking about cocaine, and I said,
goodbye, I'm leaving. Let's
go.
I just whatever was that. I was like, please don't take him to jail. Just I can't just here take this shit. Take it, whatever it is, take it.
Yeah.
So if they took Nicholas to Mexico.
It's my man's. He got stuck in the bush. He was a little nigga. He got stuck in the bush. I pushed through. I was like, bro, I look back. I was like, I love you, bro. I kept pushing. I'm not going to jail to Mexico. No.
I don't know how that man got the Spain shit is
so the point is, guys, is that it would have been, even with the lax security, I feel like it just wasn't in the family's like immediate mind that he would have been in fucking Spain.
And I don't think
and then it also should have been there
because like Carrie said, I didn't even know how you would get like what that is.
How do you get there? Right.
So, like in their mind, how the fuck would he even have gotten? Like, no, there's no frame of reference for that. She gets on,
and
the
they
plane.
have that thought, but they don't doubt it.
Right? Carrie get on the plane. Meanwhile, the Center for Missing and Exploited Children mails a actual good picture of Nicholas to these people so that they have. Again, he's just walking freely around this center, getting mail addressed to himself. But they don't know who he is. But he's getting mail addressed to himself. They don't send it to Nicholas Barkley. They send it to Jonathan,
to the caregiver, or whatever.
So he intercepts this and opens it, and it's a full color photo. And that's when he realizes he does not look like this person at
all. Nicholas has blonde hair.
He looked at a grainy black and white photo.
It looked like a milk carton picture.
The part I didn't understand about that is that they send you the full profile, missing this haul, this whatever, hair,
eye color, hair color.
So you didn't read any of the flyer?
No, he just was like,
close enough. I could be him. Like he had to just look at that black and white picture and be like, close enough, because none of that makes sense.
Not at all. But Nicholas has blonde hair, blue eyes, and he has a distinctive gap in his tooth. And
he has tattoos, which wild.
Wild that he had tattoos.
Tattoos at that.
before he got abducted, like this nigga was tatted up. Like
he had 3 fucking tattoos. Like that's wild.
Right.
When they said that nigga had a gap in his teeth, they flashed a dude's smile and it had like gaps everywhere. And I was like, yeah, that's shade. Yeah. Because
I think that he thought that might have been one of the things he could have got away with.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Can you imagine the pain of like for real looking at this nigga and being like, yo, this ain't my kid. But then you see the gap and you like,
oh, that might be my kid.
You just really wanted to be your kid. You know what I mean? As stupid as the people are for believing it and going and they went as far as it did. But anyway, go ahead. My bad.
No, you're good.
We meet FBI Nancy. FBI Nancy was like, so Nancy is she's in the San Antonio field office, I think, and Miss Nancy is like, It's very Southern white lady. Just yeah, it's just very Southern white lady, and she's just like, um, I just told them, when they get Nicholas back here, um, I need to sit down with him so I can do our investigation. We at the FBI take this very seriously. Like she
Right.
just was, um,
She loved her job.
yeah, she loves her job. So meanwhile, imposter
She look like
Nicholas,
she say nigga dick.
yeah, you say nigger a little bit, just on the weekends.
Dude be like, give me say nigga dick. She's like, no, I can't say that. I'm not racist. He's like, I love you. She's like, give me that nigga dick. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, she's just on the weekends, just a little racist on the weekends.
Right.
Oh my god.
So yeah, Nicholas is apparently going through a rebellious phase. If any of you haven't figured that out yet, Nicholas was not the crowning pinnacle of the family.
Right.
He was doing shit he had no business. Now they don't specify what the shit is, but we find out later from the neighbors that Nicholas was getting the cops called on him. They was out there shooting, fighting, cutting up, whatever. I didn't want to be insensitive to the family and call them
white trash. It was very wonderful world of the whites.
It was giving
yeah,
white
it was giving.
It was giving white trash. And I wasn't trying to say that, but it was very much giving me that. And
very much so.
If he would have been like, if in some imaginary shit, if he could link his lineage to the whites of West Virginia, like it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Very much, because I just was like, this is something. Anyway, we also keep in mind this man has an accent. This grown man has brown hair, brown eyes, a 5 o'clock motherfucking shadow. He got a chin goatee and shit, and
a big square face and shit. And this shit has
big ass testosterone, fucking filled out ass face, and they saying that this the same baby. And I'm like, okay, I don't see it, but okay.
And the tattoos just faded. I guess they just.
No, he had a girl in the child center. Apparently, they know she was doing real tattoos. Little mama was doing baby tattoos out of the orphanage. So he got her to put the little tattoos on his finger. So he got fresh tattoos and then dyed his hair blonde.
I do remember him dyeing his hair blonde because he got scared when he seen the picture, right? And it was a horrible dye job at that. Like
it was real bad.
That passport photo was extreme. The passport photo was given a whole lot of like, I don't remember those gigs back in the day, like when you could pick up the phone and it was like you would press the little button on the cord you got, and that would be the person calling from the mall or some shit like that, and they would have a fake ass like.
It looked like he worked there 1 hour photo.
Yeah, it was So to kind of speed it up, like basically he has to prove that he's Nicholas, and at this point he's thinking this is not going to work. I'm about to go to jail.
Right.
Carrie shows up with family photos because they've told Carrie on the phone he does not remember anything. He's been horribly abused. He's been brainwashed. He doesn't know shit. Right. So Carrie shows up. Remember me? I'm your sister. Look at these pictures. This your mama. This your daddy. This person. And she kept saying he just looks so much like Uncle Pat. We didn't ever see a picture of Uncle Pat. And I need to see Uncle Pat real bad.
Right.
In my most real bad, because I'm not understanding.
She looked like her mama. She looked like her mama. And fucking I don't remember what little brother looked like. It's enough family resemblance floating around this motherfucker to where Uncle Pat just gotta look
like they gotta be. He can't look like nobody they know. He can't.
Right. Right.
Anyway, so Carrie is grilling him on these pictures. So when they go before the Spanish judge and the people to try to get a passport, they, as part of the test, are like, they pull out 5 pictures and they were like, tell us who's in these pictures, what these pictures are. Well, because Carrie had grilled him so hard trying to make him remember, he was able to successfully identify 4 out of the 5 photos. He messed up on the last one, but by then they were just like, shit, that's pretty motherfucking good. Okay, great. He takes that passport. When they finally showed that picture of him with that bad, like he got, y'all can't, if y'all are watching this on the live stream on the YouTube, he had as much hair as Penrose has on his face right now in that fucking passport photo. I don't know how the fuck they.
And then wasn't this little boy naturally blonde?
Yes.
The day, so listen, as a man growing up, you start dating girls, y'all do different shit with your hands, shit. The first day, like, it's not my job as like a little 16-year-old boy to understand what like dyed roots are, or when a girl be like, I can see your roots, that means something. Oh, bitch, your dye is growing up, whatever. I say that to say that when I learned it, it made sense to me. Like, oh, okay, they be checking for each other. I say all that to say, but look at this goddamn passport photo, nigga. Your hair. This is the worst dye job ever. Your hit did all the roots just did, man. Like I could see everything.
It was real bad. He looked.
It was real rushed.
It was rushed. Like a meth head. Like he didn't look like a 16-year-old. He looked like some drugged out methy
person bro.
Just like pulled out of the rehab center and been like, "Here, stand here and take this photo." Like it was a lot. The whole family shows up to like get them off the plane. They all hugging him and shit. He is wearing a fucking Arctic parka with a fucking scarf wrapped up to here, like he finna walk through the Sahara, and his fucking ball cap with this bad dye job. And all they keep saying is, well, he went through so much. We expected him to be different.
I expected him to be quiet.
I just want to point out that if you go missing for 3 years, unless they have burned you with acid and removed your fingers or cut your nose off or something to disfigure you, you are not, your facial structure is not,
like stress isn't going to make your jawline be different.
Like they didn't say they gave him like the drug cartel plastic surgery special. Like he said
he got his eyes dyed. And they dyed his eyes with the solution.
Yeah. And I still, in my mind, am like, well, what is that solution?
Right. Like, which is what? Like,
but then I remembered that Tiny's eyes are blue like a husky, and that's not.
They didn't just like super glue a fucking like color contact to her eyeball.
No. So there actually, then I remembered that there actually is like a thing you can do and have your eye color change, but that was more recent. Like
that's weird.
So like I know it exists, but I'm like, did it exist in like 94? Like
no, it definitely didn't. And if it did, that nigga couldn't afford it. Like
I was like, it's like because I kept thinking about it, and he's like, it was a solution, but then I'm like, well, that exists now.
I mean, it might have existed. Then it could have been some other shit. It had to be a way to
niggas just gonna just fucking waste a liquid that people later on use as a cosmetic fucking enhancement.
Like they would have just made him wear contacts
for a little, for a little kid, like that they.
Or they just would have kept him hidden, like
true.
Yeah,
they probably would like if the hair dyeing that would have made sense. Like honestly, like little buddy probably could have came to them with the brown hair and been like, they dyed my hair.
They dyed my hair.
What were they gonna say? Like he's been tortured. They were willing to believe everything else.
True.
Right. True story. But then he would have to bleach his fucking his roots so that it looked like it was coming back.
Exactly.
So, they get on the plane and go home. He wakes up in San Antonio in the middle of nowhere. Like they don't live in good San Antonio. They live in like
I didn't know there was a difference.
Well, like, because like the way they show it, like they live on like basically like they don't live in from what I gathered, the way like the roads and stuff look, they kind of live like when you live like outside of the city limits.
Got you.
Like where, like you got like that co-op ass trash pickup and shit, like you live on rural Route 2 or whatever. Like that's what I gathered from where they live. Like they don't live inside the city limits.
Now I do want to point out that so they picked them up from the airport and everybody's trying to make him feel comfortable. It's like that he's not talking a lot, but then he did say something to somebody because they noticed an accent. But like just like we're saying, like the eye color thing is probably not likely. Like it's also not likely that a nigga tortured your accent away, like or tortured you into an accent. Like a nigga, like a Frenchman can't like torture me And then now I'm just like, ooh, 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 ooh. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna just like adapt that fucking accent. Like,
no.
And if you had a very country or like southern like accent, I don't think that somebody could torture that out of you. Like,
right. And then just make you just engulf this. It's not even about speaking Spanish. This deep, non-movable Spanish accent.
like
So every day,
strong.
you just get back out. Say it again. Like
I mean,
okay.
you can that only goes so far, right? Like,
Right.
like if your accent's very country, like even with me, I get mad. I say some things. It's very thick.
Yes,
I can move it to about here,
but it doesn't go away.
Right, like I can match diction with other people if I'm listening to them, but I can't just all of a sudden be French. Like,
right.
like I can go from here to about here. I can't get over here.
Right.
And it doesn't work in reverse, guys. It just doesn't.
It doesn't.
Because we always laugh and joke about like baseball players in the off season, like they've been playing in America for 18 seasons, and them Dominican accents are not fucking leaving. These niggas still don't speak a lick of motherfucking English. So that ought to be an indication that the shit is not. It doesn't work.
Nobody knows what David Ortiz is saying.
Ever. And look how long that motherfucker has been here.
Look,
you would think we ought to be able to understand something he's saying. No.
When Keenan do that shit on SNL,
oh my gosh, my favorite. That's my favorite.
I just want to go get some mofongo, and then we're gonna. There's a place. I swear to God, when I was like, "Yo, Slim gave me the chicken and the rice," I shouldn't have ate the chicken. It was good. Right next door, so this is a place called Epic up the block. It's like a food hall, everything in it. Right next door. I swear to God, all the Dominican niggas in there. It's a spot called Mofongos. I was like, yo, I gotta go in there.
Yeah, to get some Mofongo.
That nigga be like, they be like, so Big Poppy, what you doing in the off season? You know, I'm just gonna go home and eat some Mofongo.
Yeah. I love it.
But the real Big Poppy, real shit. Don't nobody know the fuck that nigga saying. And he been here
for so long.
Dog,
Nicholas. It just the fake Nicholas was over here just skinning and grinning, the accent on full display. Listen. Then so we find out that the call that the tourist made to say to come pick up this child, he faked that shit too and made it too. Ain't nobody out there and found him. He just got in the payphone booth, called the police, and then pretended to be a scared, abused kid because that nigga is crazy. We meet Charlie Parker, Private Eye.
It's a good name.
That's the man's name.
No, I'm saying Charlie Parker PI. Like I would hire that man. Maybe.
I sound like
I wouldn't hire him because I saw him on this documentary.
Look, hey, but don't that nigga sound like he would be like the not mainly focused but reoccurring artist nemesis in the Private Eye field?
Dick Tracy. Yes.
Charlie Parker comes in and like tries to like steal the case out from under you. Right. And have, like, a crossover episode where maybe you work together.
Like, I was about to say, every now and then him and Dick Tracy get along, they work together.
Or whatever. And then that when it's all over, they're like, we're still enemies, right? And then
right.
Charlie Parker.
It's the comic book, so it's dope. He stole Dick Tracy like remember Dick Tracy had the first like iPhone watch. He stole that from Dick Tracy. I don't know.
He really
Charlie
did.
Parker PI. Like nigga, what?
Dick Tracy was like my favorite movie for so long.
Dog, for real.
Charlie,
the most gangster name ever was Flat Top for a very long time.
Nigga.
Charlie gets hired to track down Nicholas Barclay because Hard Copy wants to. Remember Hard Copy? Hard Copy wants to do.
Yes.
Hard Copy.
That theme song used to scare me.
Hard Copy wants to do an interview.
Right.
And FBI Nancy is telling them no. FBI Nancy's like, hey, whatever you do, this is an open investigation. We want to find these people and punish them. So don't do any interviews because we don't want to tip them off that one, that you're alive and at home, and two, that we are looking for them. So you need to keep a low profile. Nicholas says, fucks that, gets on Hard Copy dressed like fucking Crocodile Dundee.
Another reason why he not American. Like he don't even have no sense of our style. Like
he just like a regular kid, he would just be wearing jeans and a t-shirt. They took this man to go shopping because he ain't have clothes.
He looked like Brian Fellow.
Like he's wearing a fucking fedora, fucking wide brimmed leather sun hat in every fucking shot of him. And sunglasses.
That's because he was trying to conceal his.
But what's wrong with a baseball cap if you're a 16-year-old? Like he is wearing these fucking wide brimmed fucking ass, the mask ass hats in every fucking shot of him. He's dressed like the fucking mask. Like that is like, and nobody said anything. Like he is not dressed like a child at any point in this. The only time he was dressed like a child is like the first day they sent him back to school.
Yeah.
And every day after that, he's dressed like a 40-year-old man. Not even 20. He's 23 and he is dressed like he's 40 the entire time he's in America. I shit you the fuck not. The entire time. He is dressed like he is about to go fucking walk through quicksand. Like he's about to rescue.
Not somebody torturing you into having bad fashion sense.
Charlie is not fooled. Charlie meets him. He did that hard copy, and Charlie was like, "Bitch, I know you fucking lying. I know you fucking lying.
I don't know who the fuck you are,
but you're not Nicholas Barclay." And then he was like, "I thought he was a spy. I can't wait for to hear that he blew up the Air Force Base."
Right. I was like, "Wow, look how niggas act."
That shit would have made sense.
I was like, which there is an Air Force base. That makes sense. He just was like, "Oh shit!" Like this nigga's about to blow all the shit up. So he asked for a picture of Nicholas's ears because he's learned from Scotland Yard that you can identify people by their ears.
By the ears, real shit.
So he gets the picture and he doesn't go put it in any fancy, database or spy software. No. Where does he put it, guys?
Down the thing.
Adobe Photoshop.
Yes, Adobe Photoshop. And he's like,
and he did when that like the little red joint, he like did the like little Pinterest shit. About the ears, like look at this nigga's ears.
Yes, listen. What year is this now? Whatever year this is, they for sure thought Adobe was
when it
that
first
bitch
hit
for all things. Like
right.
97, he in Adobe Photoshop doing it.
This and so he going to town.
He calls Nancy. Now, Private Eye Charlie calls FBI Nancy, and he is telling Nancy, "Hey girl, like I looked at the ears. It's not him. It's not Nicholas. I don't know who he is. I think he's a spy. Y'all gotta come help me. I need backup. He gonna blow up the Air Force Base.
He gonna blow everything up."
Nancy's sitting in her desk filing her red nails, and Nancy politely puts the phone on her ear like this. And Nancy was like, "Charlie, while I can understand your concerns, truly I can. It just wouldn't be couth of me to call those people and tell them that their child is not who they think they are. Do you have any proof, Charlie?" It sounds like
Charlie looking at Photoshop like, "Bitch, did you not hear me?"
Right.
He's ain't talking. And it's like, "I simply cannot do that without any proof, Charlie. I work for the FBI, and over here we have to have proof. I can't do that."
And she hung up.
But
here's what I want to throw in. So, do you think that fake Nick's like super like details about what was happening to him? Do you think that that's kind of what put her like more on the "it's got to be him" side?
Yes, because Nancy has apparently not worked in the FBI long enough to know that motherfuckers lie.
Be lying, like not you being touched by a nigga story, like
touched by
I think that's what it is. You don't want
to because
you don't want to tell a nigga. Think about if it go the other way. Think about like she for real be like, "Nah, this ain't that nigga," and then it is him, and this whole story he told was true. You look like the ass, and again, it's just a test of the times because I think now somebody would challenge that shit. They wouldn't give two shits if they might lose their job over if they wrong. The fact that, hey nigga, you're not who you say you are. Back then, like, yeah, him saying, "Come on, you getting raped, y'all niggas getting flown to places that you don't know where the fuck you at. This is happening, that's happening. They changing your identity, rah, 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 rah." Like, yeah. That's probably what it was.
Yeah,
This nigga said all this horrendous shit. I don't want to be the one that say he wrong and then
he was lying. Like,
you don't want
it. And this kid and this is little ass people like VJ just described us where they from in San Antonio, on the outskirts type shit. You're not really from the city. So for this to be getting this much why would this be getting this much attention? Remember when we did the doc and it was like they took the triplets and split them up and they was doing that experiment? It's almost for me like why is this shit getting that much attention?
Did we watch it? Well, I don't think we covered it though, right?
No,
I thought we did.
We didn't.
Oh,
you high. Oh.
I didn't say the name. Point being is, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. This shit just got too much attention. This shit, my bad. I went on a little spiral. Do you think?
No, I mean, because no, it does. I mean, it does. Like, I get why she was the way she was because, again, like you said, it's if somebody described horrible rape and torture and being beaten and having to do military drills and being scared for their life, if you provide so much detail to where an FBI agent is like shaking up leaving, like, my God, that was horrible, I need to go drink after to like calm myself. Of course, like she said, either he is a fucking psychopath or sociopath and made up this horrendous story about being tortured and kidnapped. You know, or
what actually happened.
Like it's horrible if this happened to you, but equally horrible is who would be capable of making up this story?
Making this up.
Yeah.
And I think that's
the
what
alternative here. Like, I've either been told the most horrible story ever, or like this really happened. So I'm gonna go with the person sitting here telling the truth rather than believe that somebody would make this up.
Make up this horrendous fucking story.
Right.
But
here we are.
He did.
Ooh. So yeah. This is when we find out that they go take him, like, so he goes back to school and shit. He's settling in. The family's like, and the FBI was like, well, we're still doing the investigation. So we're going to take him to Houston, have an expert do a forensic exam, you know, because we're still, this is a criminal case. Like, we're glad he's home, but we got to figure out who took him and if they are holding other children. So they take him to Houston, and Dr. right off the bat was like, you don't just get no French accent. And also, that's a grown man. Like,
also, look at his 5 o'clock shadow.
That was like, those are the bones of a fully formed grown ass man. His frontal lobe is all that's fused up together. That's not no teenager. Like, I don't know what to tell you. The way linguistics work is it's no motherfucking way that he grew up in fucking San Antonio, so he was 13, and then he was missing 3 years, and now he got a French accent, and he don't know what the fucking word brainwashed is.
Come on, man! So, you need to tell me. Remember, you said
I washed her brain. Like, so you don't grow up somewhere for 13 years and don't have a grasp of the way idioms work. So
exactly.
No.
And that was the part that was killing me, because I was like, it was making me feel like he just like he obviously super rushed into this, like whatever the fuck this is, but it's just like you not even like thinking like the next steps. You're just like doing it as you're going, and it's like you're just getting yourself in more and more trouble.
Yeah, he's not
because like he should never went to the United States.
Because I mean, I skipped over it, but at some point he does think about, like, he tries to escape like twice before he even leaves to go to America. So he knows.
And then he tries to hitchhike one time, and they fucking find him. They're the car that he pulls over. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like a lot of times when he was like acting like, oh, I need to stop doing this, like he wasn't ever gonna stop doing it. Like
he wasn't trying very hard.
Was fake.
Like he was trying, but not hard enough. Like he was pacing back and forth. Like that lady was in there asleep. Like he said, I could have gotten a taxi and got to the train station and been gone.
But you chose not to.
But you did, because this is what you wanted to do.
Right.
And then you went to the States, and you shouldn't have, but you did. Like
right.
And now here we are. So Nancy is coming back with him. Nancy calls Karen and is like, hey girl, don't freak out, but that's not Nicholas.
It's a stranger in your house.
It's a stranger in your house. Took a while to figure out. Right. There's no way he could be who he says he is. He's got to be someone else.
He's got to be someone else.
Get here.
Because he got a 5 o'clock shadow. And he don't talk the way Nick do.
All docked up.
Oh my god.
We'll laugh at your pain.
He used to adore
Yeah.
you, now he ignores you, girl. It's time.
Because he don't
So
understand English.
pop quiz, who are the people in this photo? So they tell and Carrie's like on another line screaming like a nut job. Nancy says, like fucking shrieking into the phone. And so Nancy's like, we don't know if he's dangerous. You know, let the FBI handle this. I'm gonna bring him back. You don't have to be at the airport to pick him up. We're gonna handle this. This says they get off the motherfucking plane. Carrie standing there, arms wide open, like fucking Creed. Like, ain't nobody never told her. Like, no one told her silly ass to stay home. And then when they cut to Carrie, Carrie says, well, Nancy didn't really present it that way. Carrie,
she didn't present that nigga didn't belong to y'all.
I just don't know how many ways you present to someone. This person is a stranger and a possible danger to your family. Like, I feel like Nancy told her, that's not Nicholas. He got to go.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I don't really know what her deal is. Like,
no. And so then Nancy is like, we need to get a blood test. So Nancy goes to Beverly and was like, hey girl, could you submit? I know this is a lot, but could you submit I know your child or whatever, but could you just submit some DNA so I can at least verify it's him so we can move this case along, get it closed? She says Beverly laid down in the fucking floor and refused to get up and said, you will not make me go with you. And I'm very confused as to what she thought this was, because they simply could have just swabbed her cheek while she laid on the floor. And Nancy was just kind enough to not put her kitten heel on this lady's neck and take the swab.
And take that shit, right.
So I don't really understand why she did that. Like, did she think it was a drug test? Like,
I'm not sure. Like, it was very odd. She said she doesn't remember doing that. The reason she doesn't remember doing that is because Beverly's on drugs, but that is a story for another day.
Yeah, because they don't say it, but
it's implied.
It's there.
Yeah.
Something is not. Anyway, so eventually, we find out because Charlie Parker's on the case. Charlie's like, nope, this nigga's a spy. You can't tell me this is not a spy. I need to know. So we find out, like I said, Nicholas was in the shit. Nicholas, I think I'd read somewhere else, and I don't know if they said so in the doc, but like they were thinking about sending him to like a boys' home or like a military school because he was just out of control. Like it was already in a bad spot with them. He had run away before. He'd stay gone for a few days, come back, whatever. Charlie uncovers that at some point Jason moves in with them. Jason is a druggie with no job, and shit just goes haywire once Jason moves in. So Jason, I think, gets Bev on drugs, and it all just kind of gets bad. At some point, Jason calls the police and says that he sees Nicholas trying to break back into the house, which doesn't make any sense because Nicholas is a 13-year-old boy who they're letting run around the city.
Right.
Nicholas has a house key.
Right.
Like, why would he be trying to break into a home that he stays at? Like, when he's run away prior to this and come back. So if you're saying it's been a couple of months, why would what purpose would him breaking into the home serve? Right. So Charlie thinks that something has happened to Nicholas and Jason is the person that did it.
Right. That's what that shit sounds like. Why would you? Yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a story to make up. Like you said, if this kid is already on the loose like that, and that's how he normally lives his life. Again, his mother was very nonchalant. Yeah, he probably got to go with somebody. This type of kid we're talking about. Yeah, so like, why would you make up that type of? Well, I mean, you know why somebody would make up. That's the first thing you probably thought of. But in essence of what you're saying, like, yeah, you're a druggie. You're not doing shit. Dog, I mean, and I've read Bush Jones' story where he talked about how people used to like sell their kids for crack. So what they could have been in that life, took that little boy in. You know what I mean? Because it's just weird. Like, why are you even a part of this story?
It's very weird. So in 1999, so he's been back like 2 years at this point, almost.
Fake Nick.
Yeah, fake Nick. Nancy gets the warrant and shit, so they waiting on that shit to come back. October 1999, they identify him. They find out that he's Frederick Borden, Frederick, however you want to say it, Frederick.
Yeah.
Frederick.
Right.
And he's wanted by Interpol because this is not the first time
full
he's
Ruffles.
defrauded some people. In fact, he has 1,000 names, including Chris, Penrose, and VJ. He has so many names. They listed names for 2.5 minutes in the documentary. You probably
He
have
really
to fast
did.
forward through that part because he has a lot of names. He has impersonated every missing child across
It's
Europe.
true. It's fucking true.
Well, they were selling their kids for crack, Tim.
They did.
Like,
They was doing it, girl.
it happened.
You get a dope man the playing card, certain playing cards meant how many days you was selling your kid for.
Crack was a hell of a drug, man.
It really was.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember somebody like funny joke about it. Somebody said that to me. They was like, "Yo, you ever notice niggas where you from? Like people who grew up like you. Y'all talk about like dope selling and murder as if it's, hey, did you see Urkel last night? I said, yo, and you don't never realize that shit is kind of weird till you move away from where you from, and you're just like, damn.
Well, I mean, folks used to do hard drugs like it was just like
the Midwest. I don't know.
Like it was Tuesday. Like I don't. It's hard to explain it unless you were there, right? Like
I guess
we grew up in crack dens, but we grew up in a time where it was on the news all the time. That was all people talked about: the war on drugs and how everybody was like. It was everywhere. It was pervasive. So of course
you want to see
get desensitized to it because what? You get desensitized to
real
it. Like,
shit.
It's true.
My mom has had conversations with me.
Would never.
No, never. But
I don't have nothing for you.
No, like I'm not giving you my child for 3 days for an ounce. Like,
bro, shit.
Listen, get the fuck out of here, bro.
No bullshit. No bullshit. I seen a thread this morning.
Right.
And
just on Wednesday, you just go pick your kid up and shit.
And the thread said was like,
come on, get in the car, I'll take you to McDonald's. Like,
no, look, that's how that shit used to be. But look, to your point, as a weed head would never. And somebody was like, yo, coke and crack is the same shit. And they still listen to all the dumb shit that people do. And just in my mind, I was just like, nah, nigga, I don't give a fuck who you know. Nobody's selling their kid for nothing else other than fucking crack cocaine. Some heroin, baby. Right.
Heroin, baby. But coke, like just coke. No.
Nah, that would be that serious.
Okay. Okay. So basically they're just saying that they think that Jason and Bev know where Nicholas is buried and that he's dead.
And fake Nick is the one who's also really pushing this story. So remember, we already know that he's lied to us
this entire time. But he gets
everything that he said, right.
He gets put in jail, and now all of a sudden he was living with a family of murderers.
Yes, and now all of a sudden that Bev has confessed to him that she killed or helped kill and hide her son's body or whatever. And so all of a sudden now we're like opening an investigation based on the shit that he said when he's a fucking liar. Like, and
I guess the worst.
I'm not even wasting my time on that.
Right.
Like, yes, it's wild. But I will say the true crime, whatever in me, thinks that they bring up interesting points, right? Because they're saying that the type of fraud that he perpetrated, like, even after I told you, hey, this person is not your child. Like, seriously, he's a fugitive or something. He could be dangerous. I don't know if he's gonna murder you all tonight. Just don't come to the airport.
Right.
And you're still coming to the airport, taking this person home. This person is still going to school. You still going to sleep at night with this person in the house. Y'all still acting like he's who he says he is. You refusing to cooperate with authorities. It seems like you have a vested interest in him being Nicholas, even though they're telling you he's not.
Right.
And I can understand you being upset and in pain because your child is missing, so you want to believe it really bad, but it's like also,
but also this isn't my kid. Like,
but also if they're telling
you
it's
can't bring
not,
no freckled redhead kid to me and be like, oh, this Kayla now. Like,
right.
but then also if my thing is, if you didn't do anything and you truly believe this is your child, why wouldn't you want to just get this FBI shit over with? They're not gonna stop coming. So why wouldn't you just say, yeah, here, DNA, whatever you need, let's just get this
let's
settled
just
so
be done
we can
with
move
it.
forward.
Exactly.
Like, why wouldn't you just cooperate? So they feel like they have a vested interest in keeping hidden.
Like they might have even like sent for him. Like they might have even sent for him. They said like,
which Carrie is like, no, like we, you know, and she was like, I feel stupid. At least she admits, she was like, no, I feel really stupid. Like I
that
feel
I didn't know
dumb.
that was my brother. Do you think that? Do you? So your crew try. I can't talk. Your true crime side. Do you feel like if that's all a possibility, do you think that Carrie really didn't know?
I don't think that Carrie knew. I think that they are naive people, and they're being told by you know, the State Department and the FBI and whoever else that this is your brother. And then they're being told that all these horrible things happen to him. And again, like Nancy said, either these horrible things happen to you or you were a sociopath and you made that up. And until I heard this story, why the fuck would you think that a grown man from Spain would try to could pass himself off as a 15-year-old from San Antonio, Texas, to go live in fucking abject poverty and white trashville, US?
The mama knew.
It's true.
Like it's wild.
You think the mom had something to do with it, or she knew that it wasn't him from the jump?
All babies look like ugly. If you got a cute ass baby the day they born, you're very rare. Most babies ugly as shit. Unless somebody bring you the baby that ain't yours, a mother know immediately. Nah, this ain't my kid. They all look alike. They all ugly, but you can feel that ain't your kid. So you mean to tell me, even though he been gone for a minute, you raised this kid till he was 13 years old. The mother knew. I don't care what nobody says.
But see, you're even saying like newborn babies. Like it's very possible. Maybe my baby is the same skin tone as the other ugly baby next to it. Maybe, but you're talking about your son, the face he got right the fuck now, and he disappeared for 3 years, and this nigga come back. You're not gonna know if that's him or not.
And with a totally different face, my nigga. Come on.
With the face that you looking at right now, like, and then he come back and he ain't got that face no more.
Yeah, that's the part that just had me like, girl, are you sure? But again, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, and like I said, I don't have kids. Y'all have children. So I guess I should ask you, I mean, do you really sincerely, if your child was gone for 3.5 years and the State Department and all these people are telling you if this is your child, but they were just had horrible shit happen to them, you wouldn't at least maybe sit down and be like, okay, let me look at you good. At least stare at the kid a little bit. Right. Like, nah, that's not mine.
Right. I mean, yeah. See, like, I'm gonna want to talk to you on the phone, and then if you don't want to talk on the phone, then I'm just gonna come down there, and I need like a two-way. I would like a fucking two-way mirror or some shit, and I need to just come and stare at you. Like, I need to see how you act. I need to I need to peep your like how you are, like, and then I'll know. Like, but honestly, I'm gonna look. If my kid disappears tomorrow, like, I'm gonna remember his fucking face. I'm gonna continue to always look at pictures of him and always remember what the fuck how he is.
So like and that's what I kept trying to figure out. Was there just so much emotional trauma that they just couldn't get past the fact that like they just wanted it to be him so bad?
So bad.
Yes. Listen,
I was like, because
it's either too much. It's either a lot of emotional trauma or murder.
Exactly.
I mean, because in my mind, I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, if you pushed the baby out of your goddamn cooter and you looked at it for 13 years, you mean to tell like man. I can't.
It's that.
Like
it's that because a kid could disappear at like 2, right? Like a kid could go missing at 2. It might be a little difficult for you to really see what that person might look like at 17 when you didn't see 13. You know what I'm saying? When you didn't see 9.
That's
different. Like that's different.
Now,
Like, but
you
we're
don't know
talking about a
what you're
nigga
looking
that is
for.
in 8th grade. A nigga that's in 8th grade disappeared.
come on.
But
And
you don't know what you're looking for when they go missing as a baby. Like those kids that get thrown out of the hospital as infants. Of course, their families can't find them because they don't know what they're looking for.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
You could look like anybody. You were an alien at 2 days. You could be a model now. Like you,
right.
You could look like any motherfucking body.
Fatty was gone with his mother for like been 2 years, right? I still seen the nigga every now and then, but when he left here, this nigga had the bony neck and the pointy chin. His face is falling out. He still look like my fucking son.
But when it was time to go pick him up and you saw him over there, you wasn't like
right.
Oh. Like,
are you him? What about you, sir? What's the mustache?
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Well, right up on the nigga, we did our normal handshake. He got in a fucking car. We came to fuck home.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, Nick was too old to have not.
Come on.
This.
Jason the mom was asleep. And so it is very possible that Jason told him to walk home. They're saying that he went and played basketball right around the corner.
Right.
So if he walked home and she was still asleep, it is very possible that he did get home.
Yeah.
And it is very possible that Jason murdered him, but we will never know because Jason is also dead.
That is very possible because if he was playing basketball so far, like so close to home, he might not have even needed a ride.
Like he asked for a ride, but he didn't.
But he might not have needed it. That's
he wanted one. And so
exactly.
Or he never called home at all, and for some reason this nigga put this in his story. For I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
Do I think Carrie and Beverly knew, had a hand in murdering him? No, I don't think either. I don't, if he's been murdered, whether Jason murdered him or he was kidnapped and murdered, I don't believe he's alive. Now, I will say that with almost 98% certainty, I do not think he's alive.
Right.
I don't. Would it be wild though if he was?
I mean, if he just showed up. But I mean, I don't.
If he was like in the top 1% of like OnlyFans right now,
right? Like he just disappeared and became a new person, and it's just
or he's like an actor like that was on Gilmore Girls or something like random.
Out here being
like low key, he's Ryan Reynolds or some shit.
right.
Like it's just
Nick.
Yeah, like but yeah, I think that he's not alive, but I don't think they knew anything about it. Now, if they said Jason murdered him in a fit of rage or something like that, maybe.
And guys, the reason why I feel like we go so like this is a possibility for us is because Jason isn't really here to defend himself because after being asked about the situation, he left his drug rehab place and then died from an overdose. Was it just the same kind of drugs that he would have been doing anyway? Was it the guilty amount of drugs?
Yeah, like is he just like tired of being in rehab and said, "Fuck it, I'm going on a bender"? Like this ain't like at the time it could be bad. Like he might have been planning to leave drug rehab that day anyway. I don't know.
Right?
Like I don't know, so I can't say that he killed his brother. I don't know.
Right.
But
the mama did fail the polygraph. I'm just saying.
Well, she in her defense, she took fucking 3,000 polygraphs.
They did make her take a bunch of them.
Facts.
She took like 2 and then she passed those and then she failed the last one and she bombed it. Yeah. And Nancy was like, "Oh, you're a killer." And she was like, they asked me questions about stealing shit. And I lied, but I do be stealing shit. And that's why I failed. Listen, I don't know. Yes. They did so many things. The long story short is Frederick got 6 years in prison for passport fraud and some other shit. And then they deported his ass back to France in 2003, where he immediately pretended to be another 14-year-old boy.
He started pretending to know where missing kids were and shit.
Oh, yeah. Who was that? Connie Chung? Is that who was interviewing him?
Yes.
So Connie Chung.
He got fucking, ain't that Maury's wife?
I was about to say, if you don't know who Connie Chung is, young, like
Miss Connie Chung, Mrs. Povich herself.
This
Yes.
boy was able to sit the fuck down. Remember,
Exactly.
Maury wanted to be serious. That nigga said, "Oh, Connie got this today."
Yeah,
nigga.
she was on the serious news. Like,
That
nigga,
nigga
you take
immediately trash
Nigga.
TV. Once he
Yeah.
realized
Loved
his
it.
wife was good, oh, she ain't leaving me either.
But she
Bet.
said that he was just sitting in his cell making hundreds of collect calls to people pretending to have information about their kids. And then when she asked him about it, he was like, I don't know. I should be doing
I don't
that.
know.
I don't know why. Anyway, this nigga got
Which is
deported back
kind of
to-
how he got here.
But yeah, he's just like fake it till you make it. Anyway, he has a
Mhm.
wife and 3 kids.
Damn. Where did this nigga come from? Who is his parents? How did we get
His
it?
dad was a Nigerian and his mom was young. His granddad was racist. That's what I wrote.
That's how that worked out. And he didn't feel like nobody loved him. And so then he went around soliciting love from families that were missing their children. So.
Kids.
It's like the Tinder swindler with no money.
Well, that nigga didn't have no money either.
Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, that nigga didn't have no money either, technically.
Nah, I'm
But he
saying,
was
but
getting it.
I'm saying that nigga was getting the
At least
money.
he got
That
PJs.
is true. Like
At least
you would think if you're gonna run a grift, like you would at least try to be like the missing child of rich people, like so you can get something out of it.
And this nigga had his lies in order. He sent the same picture to every chick, the busted head, him and Peter. Oh my god,
enemies is after me.
I ain't never seen a nigga. I got short hair. If I was to get into a scrap, some niggas coming after me, this hair right now would not look like this. This nigga
hair was very cute.
It's taking headshots.
Very cute.
Yeah, he was.
That's what. Come on, man.
My enemies.
Right.
Right.
So anyway, guys, you guys can watch The Imposter.
The Imposter for free on Freevee or Tubi.
Tubi, and you just got to get through some commercials. But it's an interesting story. It's an interesting story.
I just will say, when you see him, you have to suspend disbelief after you see that passport photo, because after that it went downhill very fast.
Bitch, I paused it. I was like, "What is happening?"
It's just like, I think
he looks like a Scooby-Doo costume,
feel
like
so bad for these people, because obviously their child, above all else, their child is missing and probably dead. But
right.
I feel bad for that part.
It is. I feel bad for that part, but my God, that is just an outrageous story.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were so willing to believe that this clearly old, not middle age, but like late 20-something fucking.
Yeah. He had a 5 o'clock shadow, guys. I don't know.
He was definitely shaving. It was a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, next time you guys get kidnapped, work on your accents, and we'll see you guys next time. I'm Chris. That's VJ. That's Penrose. We're all docked up. Bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.